Hey guys, good morning. Unfortunately, our Wi-Fi is not working 100% properly, so I have to do the best I can. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to show you this video, and we'll talk about why we're doing this in a second. I got on a little bit early, so I'm going to give everyone about another minute. So hang in there with me, please, if you're on. Thank you. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So the reason we're looking at least common multiples today, because if we had a fraction of 36 and 12, if they are our denominators, two different numbers, what we'd have to do is we have to find something that both 12 and 36 go into. And if you just look at this, you're going to be like, oh, that's a little bit easy because 12 times 3 is 36. We know 12 goes into 36. Remember yesterday I said when you have unlike denominators, two different numbers, you always want to try to see if the smaller one will go into the larger one. In this case, that's what happens. So when you have, we're doing adding and subtracting of fractions with different denominators, we're always going to have to try to find the least common multiple of both the denominators. So this video will talk a little bit about least common denominators. I know it's not perfect. Hopefully, next week we can kind of dive in and do some practice on these. But I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'll stop it periodically and we'll talk. But I'm going to go ahead and start this video now. Okay, one way you guys want to look at this, say that 18 and 12, say you had like 9/18 plus 7/12. 18 and 12 are our denominators, and we know we can't add until we have the same denominator. So you're going to have to try to figure out what is the number that 18 and 12 go into, okay? Because we have to find a common denominator before we can add or subtract. Okay, so you guys, he's given us two ways to do it. The prime numbers we could talk about. So prime number, in case you don't know, a prime number is a number that only itself and one can go into. So two is two times one, three is three times one, five would be a prime number, five times one, seven's a prime number, seven times one, 11's a prime number, 11 times one, 13's a prime number, 13 times one, 17 is a prime number, 17 times one, and 19's a prime number, 23. Only one times five equals five, one times three equals three, one times seven. Because you have like, if you have eight, for example, eight is two times four and one times eight. So there's more than two factors in it. A prime number only has itself, in this case, two and one. Three, the only numbers that you can divide into three are three and one. Five is five and one. So that's what it means by a prime factor. And you see how most of us would say two times nine equals 18. You're absolutely right. But nine has some factors in it. It's three and three. Okay. So that's what he's talking about when he's talking about a prime number. And this, it might be a little bit easier for you, might be a little more time consuming, but you can certainly do this. So this you would just take all the factors of 18. You go 18, 36, 54. The next one would be 72, 90, 108, 116, 124. You keep just basically adding 18 to each number. And the same thing here, you're going to keep adding 12 to each number. Then eventually you're going to get a number that both of them go into. In this case, it's 36. So if we had basically, like I said, if we had a fraction, if it was 9/8 or excuse me, 9/18 plus 5/12, we know that the common denominator now is going to be 36. So we convert both these fractions to 36. Then when they have a common denominator, we can add them. Okay, so there's really two ways of doing this. This one's easy here because we only had to go out three places. Sometimes, like I said, you might be going out 9 or 10 places, which is fine because you're going to get a number that's a common denominator that both of them go into. So it's really up to you. Okay, let's try some practice here. Let's see if we can figure this out together. Like I said, you guys, we are having some problems with the internet. I'm not sure if it's going to let me bring this up or not. Okay, so 12 and 16. So if these were both denominators, we have to find what's the number that both 12 and 16 go into. So if we did this, if we start with a 12, we would do 12, 24, 36, 48. Okay, I'm going to stop there. And then for 16, you do a 16, 32, and 48. So if we're doing it that long way that he showed us, we're going to know that both these denominators, if they're denominators at the bottom of the fraction, the least common multiple is going to be 48. So that would be our new denominator. I'm going to just double check it here. Okay, correct. Let's see what the next question is. 4 and 8. Okay, remember what I told you? You always want to see if the smaller number will go into the larger number. So if we had 2/4 over 1/8, we know for the smaller number, smaller denominator, if that was the case, so 1/4 over 2/8, 4 is going to go into 8. So our least common multiple here is going to be 8. Okay. 6 into 10. Does 6 go into 10? It doesn't. Okay, not evenly anyways. So if we had like maybe 3/6 plus 2/10, we're going to have to find a common denominator. So if we basically do this, it'd be the long way: 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. I'm going to stop there. And then you do 10, 20, 30. You know that both 6 and 10 are going to go into 30. Okay. So we're going to be like, okay, so we know that that would be our new denominator for these two fractions, would be 30. And one thing I told you yesterday, you guys, is you can always multiply these two times each other. Like in this case, if we multiply 6 times 10, we're going to get 60, which is fine. That's going to work. But then when you get to the end, you're going to have to do a little bit more reducing. So if it if that's how you want to do it, you can. But what I'm saying, you're going to have a little more work on the end reducing. So sometimes it's easier to find the least common multiple. In this case, it's 30, but certainly 60 would work. Okay. And last one, 12 and 10. 10 doesn't go into, or 10 doesn't go into 12 evenly. So if we did this the long way, we do 12, add 12 to it, 24, add 12 to that, 36, add 12 to 48, add 12 more, it'd be 60. And you know 10's going to go into 60 because it'd be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Okay. But if you multiply them, once again, it'd be 120, which works. But like I said, you're going to have a little more work on the end. So if I just did, if I put 60 in here, it's a little bit smaller, and that's going to work. Okay. So what I'll do today, you guys, I'm going to put, I'm going to let you practice trying to find the least common multiple. I'll put a worksheet up, and you can do it either way. You can try to factor it out, or if you want to just keep putting the factors or the numbers like 12, 24, 36, 48, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And if you want, I will go ahead and I'll repost that video so you guys can watch kind of how he factors out the prime numbers. So if you want to try to do it that way, you can rewatch the video and do it that way. So I am off tomorrow, you guys, and I will be back on Monday. So you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye.